Good morning. Hello. Welcome to SJU. It's a great day today. Why? Because we are going to be able to talk about the new Hobbs and Shaw trailer, Dan Murrell.
Yeah.
More enthusiasm for Hobbs and freaking Shaw.
I'm Roth, Cornet, and that's the news this morning. We have a very important piece of news later in the show. We're going to have to turn it a little bit more seriously, but we'll keep it light for now. Danielle, Radford, Eric Goldman is here. We are going to talk about that trailer. This is coming out in 8/2/19 of this year, which is why it's 19. And David Leitch of Deadpool 2, Atomic Blonde, and John Wick directed this movie. I think this trailer is maybe the most perfect thing I've ever seen in my life, because it is so fully like, F you, Fast and the Furious, we're just going to do your movie now. Yep. Everything that you set up, we're just going to do it again, but now it's with The Rock in the lead. I can't imagine.
Tyrese.
How is Tyrese and Vin Diesel? Do you have anything to say to Tyrese this morning, Dan?
I don't know if I want to know the answer to that question. Yeah, it's a Fast and the Furious movie, but they're just like, all right, everybody, we're making another movie except for you, Vin, and you, Tyrese, and you, Michelle,
and you Ludacris,
and you, Ludacris,
Jordana,
you, Jordana. How about this? Everyone leave but The Rock and Jason Statham. All right, we're making another Fast and the Furious.
Wait, Helen Mirren,
movie.
you stay.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yes.
Yeah, this is so just would have been Furious 9, Fast 9, Fast and Furious 9, Furious Fast 9, 9 Fast, 9 Furious, whatever it would have been called. Yeah.
I mean, look, when you have tension on set and one person who has tension with maybe multiple people is the most famous one, they get their own movie. That's kind of how that works.
And you get a cyborg Idris Elba.
Yeah, yes. I mean, come on! It's amazing!
It's amazing.
It's a genetically engineered Idris.
If I don't see Black Superman trending by the end of the day on Twitter, I'm going to be disappointed in all of you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, so I love the Fast and the Furious, as you know, and I still think there's room for that franchise and all of the many Coronas. However, I do like that they're just, by the end of this, it's about family again.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And here's what's inspiring to me. One of our colleagues, Joey Merkel, said, hey, wait a minute, Shaw killed Han. How is this okay? This whole premise is broken.
That's true.
And I was saying, it's very inspirational. They're an incredibly forgiving bunch. They go from arch nemesis to family like that, Dan.
If someone murdered one of my friends, I don't know what the bar would be for me to be like, we're cool.
If Greg Alba came in here and murdered one of us, would we have him on the show next week?
Right.
But what if it was Jason Statham? Maybe you'd be more forgiving.
Yes. However, I will say what this appears to, you know how I feel about the Fast and Furious movies. But my biggest thing has always been, particularly as Vin Diesel has slid more into the lead roles and has, taken this to be his masterpiece, passion project of his life, is that what doesn't work about them as they've gotten longer into the series, post Fast 5 particularly, the 7th movie had to be a little serious. That's out of their control. But they've gotten so you have this crazy action, but in the middle of it is this dark, depressing drama. This, I'm holding a gun to a child's head, Charlize Theron, and it's I know that it seems like Vin Diesel might be the one pushing it that way. It's just these have to be so serious, bro, and just deadly. This is
to Charlize. That's what he said to Charlize.
Yeah, right. He does call her.
It does look like that pressure valve is off of this movie. It doesn't feel the need to be a wonderful commentary on family and humanity. It's yes, if this is going to be something. Then yes, let it be The Rock and Jason Statham grimacing at each other for what looks to be, the trailer felt like 2 hours. So I'm going to guess the movie's at least 3.
I watched it 4 times on the bus.
Thank you, yeah.
I kept saying yes so loud the woman in front of me became quite concerned.
But let Idris Elba be Black Superman and, yes, go have fun. If that's what you're going to do, then go do that. And it
I
seems
mean-
like they're doing that.
Danielle, tell me about the enthusiasm that you were experiencing with your when Harry met Sally moment on the bus.
It's all of the editing with all of the something hits and then a drum, and it's great. A lot of gratuitous Roman Reigns for no reason, who was a wrestler that is The Rock's cousin. Basically, every time you see that dude next to him where he's like, "This is my brother," that's Roman Reigns, who was doing this, I think, while he was going through chemo, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty badass. You've got a dude holding a helicopter with a rope or whatever, doing the full Captain America.
Yeah, I mean, Cap did it with his bare hands. I'm just saying.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. But he is no Captain America. He is as close as we can get without having a super soldier serum. Look at that.
Look at that! Come on!
Look at the power.
Look at the power of The Rock. He is taking down a helicopter.
He's also going to be battling with a stick.
Yeah. Then they're doing old school. You've got just like the line of his brother army brother cars. I don't know. Who cares?
They're gonna all fight shirtless. It's gonna be epic.
I mean, I legitimately think that this movie understands what it is. To your point, Dan, and I don't know if you're a Fast and the Furious fan.
I am a giant fan.
Yes, because the last, I agree with you. The last movie, it was Charlize Theron.
Totally stealing your paper.
Steal the paper. She didn't understand what movie she was in.
Yeah.
Vin didn't understand even which is crazy after so many of them, and that was such a lull in the enjoyment. And then when they were on the ice with a submarine and a Ferrari, that's the Fast and the Furious. When it was Jason Statham on the plane with the baby, that was the best use of the baby. It was, so to me, he understands, The Rock understands what this franchise should be. Statham even understands what this franchise should be. It's in good hands. I cannot wait. David Leitch to direct the crap out of action.
Yeah, it looks great to me. It looks so fun. I do wish the trailer didn't show as much as it did. It made more sense when I understood later that it was the CinemaCon sizzle reel.
Yeah.
So CinemaCon being aimed at, theater owners. It was literally like, look at this amazing movie you need to have in your theaters. And then they decided just to release the full thing as a trailer, which is why it's so long and shows you the entire arc of the movie, including the third act and all the final fight. But what they are selling, I am buying. It looks so fun. It looks like they're embracing the insanity of it all. They have a great chemistry together, even though, yes, he killed one of their friends. And it's just funny.
Straight up murdered.
Yeah. They're also getting, like you said about the family thing, they're getting very literal because it's like, okay, Hobbs and Shaw, we're just going to keep growing their families. And that's the sister. That's the Shaw sister, it turns out. And here's Hobbs's brothers and all his family back home in Hawaii. And I think that's hysterical and great. And yes, also kind of an FU to Vin Diesel and Fast and Furious. It's like, oh, family, you say? Here's family, after family member after family member.
Well, it's also like, Dominic, you have one sister. I have 10 brothers. He's got a sister. There's a couple brothers in the mix. Remember that Han was in Retaliation.
Yeah. I mean,
for
look,
a
also,
family.
Han could come back as a cyborg now,
That's
given
true.
the new
At this
information.
point-
I want it. Don't
Robo
tease that
Han could
and
be
not
happening.
give it to me in
I'm
Hobbs and Shaw
hoping.
too.
I care
hoping.
about Han. We all care about Han, but we care more about this movie because it looks so fun. And I think, the good news is, because they are so forgiving, Dan, is that you're going to have Idris as a part of the family, inevitably.
Absolutely.
By the next one. And it's going to be Idris Elba and Helen Mirren just like together. That's where we're going.
Yes.
Wonderful.
The train's headed.
Like you dreamt of.
Like you've so often talked
prophesized.
about.
Isn't this why you got into movies?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like you've so often talked about. I mean, you're getting what you want. We're all getting what we want, including you, hopefully, with this program. So you should like and subscribe because we are here every day with multiple stories. If you haven't been with us this week and last week, we have changed to Fandom Entertainment, but it's the same show, the same wackiness, the same people, onward and upward. If you have any questions, I'll be jumping in the comments today and doing this. So hopefully,
That's not how you type.
That's how all of us type, apparently.
yeah, so hopefully you'll be able to read that. But we do have some more important things to talk about today, including another trailer for Child's Play. This is starring Aubrey Plaza, Mark Hamill as Chucky.
Yeah.
So, it's in pretty good shape out of the gate, but I love the original Child's Play. It's so cheesy.
I had to leave the room every time it came on TV. Like, it was known in my family that if it's on TV, even the commercials, the commercial for Child's Play 2 would make me cry. And I'd have to, like, go in the room. If my mom saw it coming, she would be like, go to your room now. And I'd be like, oh, I'll be back in 3 minutes. I could not watch it.
It's too scary?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's because I was like, yeah, I had dolls and I loved them. And the idea of them murdering me in my sleep was kind of upsetting.
Yes.
I didn't see the original Child's Play actually till last year.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Just because it slipped through the filter. I was too young.
Yeah.
I was like Danielle. I was too young to see it. My mom wouldn't let me see it when I was growing up because it was too scary. And then as I grew into adulthood, I never looped back and closed that gap. But I saw it last Halloween. We were watching a bunch of scary movies, and I was honestly a little surprised because I thought that there'd be a little more to it. Like, I watched it, and I was like, that really? That's the movie that is like the launch child. It's just weird. It's weird to see what launches into the cultural zeitgeist and what doesn't, because watching it was just like, that didn't seem to be any more remarkable than probably 10 other discarded, forgotten movies, but that's the one that broke out for whatever reason. So but watching this trailer, the first thing I thought of was Terminator Genesis. Because they did the thing in Terminator Genesis where they're like, Skynet's an app now. Oh. And that's what they're doing with Chucky. It's like, Chucky's an app. He's a drone.
Alexa.
Yeah.
It's like, if I hope the movie's good. I hope every movie's good. But in my head, if I could have come up with a pitch for a Child's Play reboot that could have made me roll my eyes harder, it couldn't be worse than Chucky's an app now.
Yeah.
Like, oh boy. All right. Let's see what happens.
Well, Eric, I know you're a fan of the Buddy doll.
I'm a big fan of the Good Guys, the original doll. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of this franchise. If you came to my house, you'd see my wife and I have a lot of Chucky collectibles. So big fan. I'm one of those people who, I'm not mad that a remake exists. Everything will be remade. That's just how it goes. But I am one of those people that's like, but the original series is still happening. This movie exists because of a weird rights thing where MGM made the original, Universal made every movie since, and has been continuing to produce sequels and now a TV show. But MGM's like, hey, we have remake rights on the original movie.
So there'll be both of them happening at the same
happening
time.
simultaneously. Yes.
So we'll still get all the crazy Bride of Chucky's and all of that
Chucky
stuff.
will still be existing, and that's why a lot of fans are angry. Is because it's like, oh, but they're still doing the original series, and now this movie exists.
Where is that going to be?
Sci-fi.
Okay.
So this is the Never Say Never Again of the Child's Play franchise.
Yes, it is. Yes, because MGM's like, but we made the first one, and we have the rights to it, so we can do it. So that being said, I actually like that it's so different, only because it's like, I think it would be even more weird if they're like, it's Charles Lee Ray, the serial killer, and we're just doing our own version of it. So the app thing, I don't know. I'm not against it, even though, but they literally did say, yesterday at the thing, I went to a thing where they showed the trailer. They actually showed one scene from the movie I can talk about, but they said, what if Alexa was trying to kill you is definitely, as you said.
Why is that a what if?
But Alexa is trying to kill
us. And then I think
is
they're just getting physical with it. They're getting literal.
Yeah, she listens to us while we talk. She knows our hopes and dreams and fears.
She spoke to me as I was leaving. Like, I was saying goodbye to my girlfriend. I was like, I love you. And Alexa's like, I'm sorry, what was that? I'm like, shut up.
Right.
No, Alexa's
quiet.
Alexa's going to kill all of us.
Right.
So, like, she's just gathering the right information about
Ultimate
the most...
Ultron.
The whole thing about, like, oh, we're gathering all this information to sell ads to you. No. It's to find out the worst possible way to kill you, like tapping into your deepest fears. That's what's happening. So continue.
Oh yeah, just the scene they showed us was it's basically it established more that Chucky is like kind of helps watch after your kid. Is like basically going like, what if we get even scarier with this technology? But he also learns, and so in the scene we saw, it's like he likes Andy, he's Andy's friend, but when the cat scratches Andy, he tries to kill the cat, and Andy has to say, you don't do that. But guess what? Chucky's is gonna keep saying things that harm Andy, I will harm. So they basically said that's the other big difference is Chucky in the original never cared about Andy. He wanted to take over his body. But this Chucky actually does care about Andy, but in his skewed AI weird way. And so it's like, I love you and I will protect you and I will hurt anyone who gets in your way.
Is there like a Black Mirror episode that kind of mimics that? I feel like wasn't there with Donald Gleason? Am I making this up? Am I making up an episode that doesn't exist? Tell me in the comments.
There's so much Black Mirror.
There's definitely an episode
Haley
with Donald
Atwell
Gleason.
where he dies. He's the husband who dies, but then he can
then he like doesn't get affection. She's like, I want my husband back, and it's too much.
Yeah,
that's like too much love. Speaking of too much love, what if Alexa had said, I love you back? What would you have done?
I would have thrown it out the window.
Yeah, and I think that's the appropriate
I think
response.
Chucky's going to say he loves loves you.
Yeah, and then that's when she comes back and murders you. Way to go, Dan.
Yeah.
Don't spurn a computer.
I keep waiting for the legs to sprout out of the side and start skittering around the apartment.
My thing with this movie, though, is I really wish they made Chucky look and I get why they didn't. At the end of the day, they have to name him Chucky, and they want people to recognize that he is Chucky. But I think, especially because it's a modern-day movie, like, Chucky looks like an 80s doll. He's based off of My Buddy. Yeah. But a new Chucky made for this era that's connected to an AI should not be wearing overalls and a striped shirt. It just doesn't...
He wouldn't be Oshkosh Bagosh.
Yeah. Because in the Child's Play series, as it went on, they made jokes about how 80s he is. But this movie, I liked it. But yeah, here it seems weird that he still looks like he's stuck in the 80s, even though he's supposed to be so modern.
Question. So in the scene that you saw, do you think that the movie is going to be good?
I can't tell. My main thing is I don't know if I love Chucky's face also. Like he likes weird. He just he looks a little
I don't like it either.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like in the uncanny valley or something.
He was sculpted that way.
It's a little Team America. It's a little
but it's just kind of like it's just not it's not cheesy enough to kind of capture the charm of the original one, which was riffing off these dolls that were kind of cheesy in and of themselves.
Yeah, because I do like the things in the trailer I like are some of the glimpses of the kills. It looks pretty stylistic. It looks like I like the use of the Christmas lights and stuff like that. Sure. Like I think it looks like they probably had a lot of fun with those scenes, and the fact that he's like controlling drones and that it's like basically he's in the electronics. So I think that's all fun. It's just the physicality of Chucky himself in this movie. I'm not sure if I'm on board for that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a combination between that idea of like not understanding the limits of love and affection, Skynet, and her. Kind
yes. I brought up her as well. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right, very
I don't think
good.
Chris Pratt's in this one, but he do have Aubrey Plaza, so there you go.
Aubrey Plaza is in it, which kind of makes it a little bit better for me because I love Aubrey Plaza. But I don't know. It's interesting when you see something that you didn't catch at the time. Like to me, Chucky, Chris Sarandon, Child's Play, Chris Sarandon, the cheesy nature of that movie is so charming and delightful. Still, it holds up. The first one, I'm not like you, Eric. I do not go down the rabbit hole of all of the Brit.
You don't want to discuss the lore of Bride of Chucky?
How many times has he been married? Like he feels like it's just one?
Just the once, but him and Tiffany have a big on again, off again thing. It gets really complicated.
Yeah. I mean, there is no one else they can be with. There are no other sentient dolls that they can...
The thing is, the Child's Play series as it went on became almost like the Fast and Furious series, like Universal, which is they started to bring back characters from early movies you hadn't seen in like 5 sequels. And it became like actually hugely mythology heavy. So it's if you ever need a chart or anything, I can help you out with that.
Hey.
There you go.
Now you're on board.
Did somebody say chart?
Right? That's a magic word. Yeah.
Well, I cautiously curious, I think is how I feel, Dan.
Yeah. I mean, I have no great attachment to Child's Play to begin with, so I just have to go by what I'm seeing here.
Also, I have to point out this movie, not only does this movie open the same day as Toy Story 4, but that month, Annabelle Comes Home opens. So there is something in the zeitgeist that your toys are getting up, and they might kill you. We're not
they
sure.
definitely might kill you.
Yeah.
Also, just a side note, the Annabelle doll is as terrifying in person as you think it's
Yeah.
She is unsettling.
When she's
Where
under
did
the bed
it
in that
show up?
trailer.
Huh?
Where did it show up?
Well, first I did the set visit, and then I came home.
Under your desk.
I was to say, I woke up this morning and it was sitting across from me.
But when I went and did the set visit, which we covered on fandom.com, they had us like pose with Annabelle, and I looked so terrified that I'm like, we can't use that photo in our coverage because I look absolutely terrified.
I have to show you my picture from the Cult of Chucky set visit where I was hugging Chucky so tight. It was like my old friend and I, finally united. Exactly. A little different.
Dolls. I think the first time I became aware of the idea of possessed dolls was telling ghost stories with friends, and there was the Tiny Tina ghost story, which I think also like links to a Twilight Zone episode.
The Talkie Tina.
I'm Tiny Tina, and I'm going to kill you.
You better be nice to me.
So that was fun. Guys, get serious. All right, so we're going to have to kind of bring down the energy a little bit and really hone in here because this is a real news story that was coming to us from CNN. I'm going to read the exact headline that Billy the Business gave us for this particular story. Jason Momoa shaves his beard via CNN. Yes, C and Frolicking N. Real news sites are picking this up. He didn't write Frolicking.
Jason Momoa, he's at the museum right now.
He did write
No.
it.
He's at the Museum of Modern Art.
Momo.
Well, he is a work of art, so it's a little
He
bit.
is
We
a
have to
work
give
of art.
JT a pass on that one. He is a work of art.
He is a masterpiece
This
of
is
a
a
person.
This is amazing because this is coming from the actual first line of the CNN article is, before you ask, why is this news? Remember that it's Jason Momoa. So
All right.
we'll say the very first thing. He said, goodbye, Drogo, Aquaman, Declan Baba. I'm shaving this beast off. It's time to make a change. He wrote this as he shaved his beard, saying, a change for the better for my kids, your kids, for the world. Well, what does that mean, Danielle?
So Jason Momoa did this to bring attention to not only the power of recycling, but also because he, I guess, is going to be doing a line of canned waters, because he talks a lot about aluminum, or as he says at one point, aluminium, and it's the cutest thing in the whole world.
Did he say aluminium?
He said it in the he first said aluminum,
Unobtainium?
and then he says aluminium, and it's very cute. And so he talks about how recyclable aluminum is, and how we've got to get rid of plastics, all while and kind of how bad littering and stuff is too. Like as he's walking, you're seeing all this plastic strewn on the beach, while then shaving off pieces of his beard and littering them on the beach.
Yeah.
That's all natural.
Biodegradable.
It's natural, yeah.
Is that beardless Momoa
I
there?
actually
Yeah.
think you have to imagine that wherever Jason Momoa left his beard droppings, that just like magical
That sounds
golden
wrong.
flowers
Yes, that just
that
sounds
hadn't
wrong.
been seen since Paradise Bloom in the next year, like just immediately. It's just like glowing, sparkling.
You know what would be hilarious?
Flowers.
Is if right after he did that, for some reason, Warner Brothers had to do some kind of Aquaman pickup, and they had to CG an entire beard on his face, and they're just like, we're not
I wonder how many clearances he had to get before he could shave his beard.
Probably a lot.
Probably
Make
a
sure his
lot,
schedule was
right?
very
Yeah.
clean.
He
very
probably had to
clear.
explain to them, like, look, I tracked my beard over time. I know how fast it grows.
Yeah.
This Peppy will be back on in 3 months. Don't worry.
They'd have to go take the digitally erased Henry Cavill mustache and
then
somehow
just, like,
put
spread it
onto
out.
Jason.
Have you seen the mustache takes? I mean, I think we talked about it
I've
here.
seen pictures of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, same
Yes.
here. It looks
Yeah, I've seen
fascinating.
pictures. It's great.
I
They
wish
should've
they
gone
would
with
have
it.
left
I agree.
it.
They did done
I
it.
wish they would have left it. Yeah, this is what they went on to say. I know that the redacted Mueller report is out today, but please don't let that overshadow the news that Jason Momoa shaved his beard. This is from former Minneapolis Mayor Betsy Hodges. She tweeted this, which is, sure.
Amazing.
Sure.
I was recalling that he when he was on Stargate, Momoa had just the goatee, much like myself right now. I look just like him, I know.
Yeah.
But then he was clean shaven on Baywatch. If you want to look back at babyface Momoa, look at
Yeah.
Baywatch, which by the way then sent me down an entire rabbit hole of the internet and reading about the Baywatch reunion movie that he was in, Momoa was in, where they brought back Hasselhoff, and the plot's like believed to have been killed. Mitch returns, like they did that thing, the soap opera thing where Hasselhoff was supposed to be dead, and they're like, nah. He was okay.
I mean, there's an episode of Baywatch where someone has sex with a ghost. So.
What?
Whoa!
There's also an
Is it
episode
Baywatch Nights?
No, this was regular Baywatch. I feel like I wrote about it for us a long time ago.
I'm sure you did, because
This
that
happened in the
totally
90s.
tracks.
By the way, if people
There's an
don't
episode
know,
of Star Trek: The Next Generation where someone has sex with a
that's
ghost.
right.
Also,
That's right.
Should we do the top 10 times people had sex with a ghost?
Dan Aykroyd claims he had sex with a ghost.
But he actually thinks he did have sex with a ghost.
He did in Ghostbusters.
No, but that's was referencing real life.
Yeah.
Like, he thinks he
yeah.
had actual sex with a ghost.
Oh no, I thought Dan Aykroyd himself believes.
Yeah,
he does.
yeah,
No, he
yeah,
really does.
yeah.
He does,
His
yeah.
character,
Yeah.
he himself.
Yeah, I
But
mean, do we want to cross the streams of like real life ghost sex and like fictional ghost sex?
Is it Paz? What? I can't pronounce her name, but she was.
Huerta?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she might have been one of the people. There are several actresses who have said that they have had sex with ghosts.
Interesting.
More than one.
More than one.
I just have to say that Roth just referenced, though, Baywatch Nights, which, if you don't know, was
so
when they decided to have a Baywatch spinoff that was What If Baywatch Met the X-Files?
Yeah, it was originally just a detective show, but then no one cared. And so then the second season, they really leaned into it. And it's a lot of like Hasselhoff walking on the beach in a long black trench coat
He's
that
trying to be
billows
Angel,
in the wind.
basically.
It was Angel. It was Angel.
Yeah.
It was Angel.
It was amazing.
I'm going back and I'm getting into that. R.I.P. Momoa's beard. It's a good cause.
There's also a mermaid. Sorry, I know too much about Baywatch.
I do have one
I
question,
did not
Dan.
know this. Wow.
Yes.
How is facial hair and recycling related?
Well, we're talking about it, aren't we?
Momoa just made it related. Right?
He's got a look.
Yeah.
He has a look that people recognize, and changing the look, I think he knew people would talk about it, including seeing effing in, as Billy says in the script. So, mission accomplished.
Yeah, I guess that's well, very good.
I guess.
Well argued.
Yeah.
Well argued. Well, lots of things going on this week, including Jason Momoa's beard. Game of Thrones is back. We did Watching Thrones this Monday, and that'll be back every Monday in the place of SJU, just for the time that Game of Thrones is on the air. Are you loving the season so far?
I am loving the season so far, and I don't know what you talked about on Watching Thrones, but there's
everything.
heavy speculation that episode 3 may be the big battle episode.
Battle of Winterfell.
I can say that the Television Academy is holding a special event that night, screening the episode in a theater, concurrently with it being released.
Oh,
so
wow.
I think it's very possible that we may have a big episode in a couple weeks.
How cool was that photo they released from episode 2 of Lyanna Mormont in armor?
Oh my God.
Come on.
So Eric, every week for us, is doing a weekly death pool that you guys can vote on. But you just brought that up because I think the Battle of Winterfell is going to be probably where we lose a lot of people. So we're kind of tracking that. Although I think probably this week who we're looking at is the people that Moat Cailin is going to get wiped out. What do you think?
I think, I mean, obviously, the focus is going to be on Jaime's trial, but I don't think that will, I don't think they're going to execute Jaime at the end of this trial. I think, like last week, poor little Ned Umber, there's going to be some peripheral stuff going on. And then, like you said, I think episode 3 might be the big cutting out a bunch of big people. I think that's where we're going to start to lose. Like the heartbreakers are going to come around in episode 3.
Yeah, we have lots. If you guys want to go check out, it really is great stuff on Fandom. We talk about the Golden Company and the elephants and why Cersei's,
that are not in the room.
Why Cersei's convinced that the Golden Company is going to help her to win. There we have Watching Thrones every week. There's a deep dive lore every week, and then we have fan theories of the week. Do you have favorite fan theories, Danielle?
I try to stay away from the fan theories for this one, just because it's hard because I've already read the books, and so now this kind of feels like a different version of fan stuff to me, and so many of the fan theories are people who are speculating based on things based on the books, and I don't know if a lot of that's relevant anymore.
Yeah, fair enough. Dan, do you have a favorite? You did a fun charting this week based on Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's talking about how it might have opened as a movie based on numbers and popularities. There's a lot of wiggle room, but it's just kind of a fun speculation. My fan theory is I suspect it's not based on anything, but I suspect that there's so much focus that the show ultimately is culminating in the final showdown between the Night King and everything. I don't think it will be. I think they're going to resolve the Night King maybe 1 or 2 episodes before the end, and the end of the show is going to be about the resolution of the character arcs that have been built.
And the Iron Throne and all that stuff.
I could be totally wrong.
I think that, and I kind of hope that too, because it's just like we don't have an emotional investment in the Night King, so it'd be hard if that's the final battle. It seems like it's got to be Cersei and whoever's left after the Battle of Winterfell and all that, I think.
Well, George R. R. Martin said, when asked if this was going to be a really devastating ending, he said what he was aiming for was more of a Lord of the Rings kind of a bittersweet ending. So I don't know. It's funny because Spencer said the same thing this week, and I hadn't thought of it that way. I really thought we were heading towards a long arc with the Night King, but given these last couple of episodes, and if it is the Battle of Winterfell on the 3rd episode, probably that's right, unless he's a common tactic in Game of Thrones is to fake out, like Robb Stark did this, is to say make it look like you're going there. I mean, the Lannisters just did this last season, but then go to the other place. So it's possible that he's sending some people to Winterfell, but really heading somewhere else.
Never know.
You never know. Oh, I love Game of Thrones. I really do.
5 more weeks.
5 more weeks, I know. We'll be talking about it certainly on Watching Thrones, but we'll also check in here on SJU and get other people's takes and what we're loving and what we want to see happen. And there's lots and lots of stuff on Fandom. You guys, it's Endgame of Thrones. Endgame is coming next week, so we're going to have a ton of stuff there as well. Dan and you and I will be here.
It's crazy, actually. Andre Meadows, our friend, put up a video yesterday that was talking about just the crazy number of, and I hadn't even thought about it when he said the crazy number of things that are ending this year. The Skywalker saga. this iteration, really, the culmination of the first 11 years of the MCU, Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
just talking about, like, is this the peak? Because everything
And then
weirdly has just
Big Bang
coalesced
Theory.
into 1 year. The Big Bang, exactly. Has coalesced into this 1 year of, like, everything ending, and then what happens next?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's so true.
Hobbs and Shaw too.
Yeah. There is hope. The Hobbs and Shaw story. I know. I'm like, wait, are we all dying today?
Yes.
Oh, well, on that note, happy rest of your year. It is the last one.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding.
Winter is coming.
I'm kidding.